Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. What we have discussed today?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so far yesterday we have been already discussed about the new concept which is related to the collections in Java. So collection is nothing but it is an objects representing the group of different objects. So the Java provides the collection frameworks. So collection framework contains the different types of interfaces and the classes. So we have already seen uh, the one uh, that means the interface and classes with the help of array list concepts. So Java provides the list interface with the
Mhm.
help of a different subcategories. It's like a array list, linked list, and the vector list.
Okay.
So,
And how array list is different from array?
so whenever we design an array, so it's like a static. That means whenever we define the array, so we cannot change the size of array, but array list it's like a dynamic that means we can change the size of array with the help of array list. It's like a dynamic memory allocation, and in a array it's like a static. That means we
Okay.
cannot change the size of array length in the array, and we can change the size of array with the help of array list.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, good. So hope you guys remember this is the example we talked about yesterday session, right? How we can create a array list object and how you can add the collection of data into the array list and how we can replace it, right? And how we can do with the uh, remove, and how we can do searching the array, right? So all the stuff that we have discussed yesterday. Okay, so now let's try to 1 second. Yeah, now let's try to understand how, like, here we have just store the list of integer, list of strings, so which is something called the collection of primitive types we have store in the array list object. Now I'm going to show you, let's go to the same list packages. I'm going to create a new class where I can show you how we can store the collection of objects. So let's create a new class. Okay, and the class name I'm going to say is a product class. Means I want to create a list of a product object, and what I can do, I can just define the list of instance variables of the product object, say integer, product ID, and string, product name, or price. Okay, let's take three properties, and then I just want to introduce a constructor here. So right click in the class structure and go to the source and go to the constructor using fields. Okay, now my constructor has created, and then I'm going to yeah, so I'm going to create another class which is my main class. Okay, and I will say new class. Main method, I will say product list class. Okay, and finish here. Okay, now before I'm going to create the list of a product object, let me create the collection which I want to use to store the list of a product object. So I will say array list and a product. I will tell you what exactly the use of this Angular classes, and I will say object m equal to new array list is a product. So let me just import the util packages belongs to this array list class, and this is something called generics. Okay, so what is the generics here? Generics is basically it allowed to create a type-safe object. Now, as I said yesterday, if you remember, the same thing again I'm going to repeat here. If I want to store the collection of primitive types in one type of collection, we can talk about any collection, list collection or set collection, any type of. It depends on the way how you want to manage your data. So if you want to store a collection of primitive types, like I'm talking about yesterday example, I never talk about related to the generics, but whenever you're talking about something called to store a collection of specific type of object, right? Then you have to use this you have to use the generics. So generics is basically introduced in JDK 1.5, which is allowed to create a type-safe collection object. Means this array list which I have created, that is particular used to store the collection of a product object. Okay, so that's the reason I just make it as a product type. That means this object is just this object I have created just to store only this list of product object. Now I'm going to use this object here to add a list of a collection. So I will say object add so I'm going to create an instance. New, we have already constructed parameter constructor, so product ID and product name and product prices, say $850. Now direct I'm going to create an instance, and the same thing which I'm going to add into my analyst object. Now let me add few more object of product for here, and this is my product ID 2, ID 3, and 4. $150. And this one will say product, and we'll say $750. Then it is a $950. So I have a collection of object in my array list. Now I can either print that object. I can print the object directly. Okay, something called a object. Now let's run this code. So what I can see here, I can see the list of my reference of 4 object which I have added into my array list object, right? So the same kind of issues we have before also, right? So how I can overcome such issues, like I don't want to see the object reference that has created in the stack memory, right? I don't want to see that reference where this object is created. That's not required for me. My requirement is to see the object values. I want to see the object data, right? So that's we can resolve it. Just we can override the toString method of my object class. So what I can do, I can simply right click here. You can say source, and you can say toString methods. Okay. Now let's save the code and come back to the main class and run the code. Yes, I got it. And alternative way, you can use something called a for each method, which has introduced in Java 8 versions. So let me show you that as well. For let's keep this line coming. I'm going to say for sorry, product. I'm going to create a reference P scope resolution operator, and from where I'm going to get from the object, that is my list object. I can say the each uh, the each product of each reference of the product has to be written by the P reference. So P. Right. So this is the easiest way that Java 8 has introduced this for each method to get each uh, product object from my array list referred by this product reference here, right? And another way also we can use something called by using iterator. Like the first way I have shown you, just printing that array list object, and second alternate way also I have shown you that how we can traverse the element from the array list object. Now I'm going to show you the third approach, the third methods to traverse the list of object from my array list class. So I will use iterator. Something called object dot iterator methods, and let's import this. Yeah. Now making this iterator in the product type of. Okay. So let's try to, because this iterator, right? Iterator is nothing but just an interface that has introduced by collections, and these iterators which is going to get traverse the elements from my array list object. So I just make that interfaces in a generic type of, which is called product. Means this iterator I'm just going to use only just to traverse from the product object. All right. So what I can do here, I can just use any while loops, say iterator dot as next till the records there, right? Then simply say yeah, dot records. Okay. So has next will return is Boolean type, and then say, and then say, yeah, dot. Okay. So has next will return is Boolean type, and then say, yeah, dot. Okay. So has next will return is Boolean type, and then say, yeah, dot. till records are there, then has an actual and true. That means it is going to check is there any object in my iterator. Yes, then just return that. Till there is no object, I mean till there is object, it has to return. So when there is no product object, it doesn't return anything here. So, yeah, right. And we have a another approach called a list iterator. So list iterator extends the iterator. So list iterator have some additional features such as we can use list iterators to traverse the element from any collections, either by either forward direction and as well as backward directions. But here the iterator which I have used, that is only used to get only from the forward direction only. There is no backward direction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to change that. Okay, let me just keep it a comment line. Let's probably I can write another word so that I can send this code later. Okay, I'm going to say iterator. Sorry, object data. Let's import this iterator from the util packages, and let's make this iterator into the specific type of. Okay, now I can use both directions. So say while loops. Yeah, same method has next. Say yeah, next. Now again I'm going to use another while loops. So this is for what? Forward direction. This is for backward directions. Okay, so here I'm going to use has previous method. Previous. Same iterator I'm going to use for has previous and previous. Let's extra parenthesis. Yeah. Now let's run the code. See. See here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 again, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that is the specialty of the iterator. Sorry, list iterator. We can use in both direction, forward direction and as well as backward directions here. So what we have discussed so far in the collection, we talk about how to add a list of object into the analyst collection type of which have a collection of object, and the same we talk about yesterday to store the collection of primitive types of, right. Now I'm going to show you that some other method like how you can just see what you can say. sorting the array list, right? So here, if I have list of element, let me show you that. Because the main approach, the main use of this collection is what? Not only just to adding or remove, okay? We can use it for sorting and searching. We already discussed by using contains method. So let me create a new class. Okay, say array sorting. Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a let's say I'm going to write a method. Going to create a class level method. Let me start it. Say okay. Now I'm just going to create a two different list here, two different type collections. So I say um, I'm just going to use generics. So I will say string type of like let's say product name, new array list. Let's import this. And we'll say another type of is flow, where I can store the collection of product prices. Right. So before we discussed that how to create a specific type of collection, and here I'm going to use the primitive types of. Okay. Now here I'm just going to asking to the end user to read the input. Okay, read the product here. So let's save this and enter number of products. Let's introduce scanner also here. And let me import this package as well. Already our list package is imported, and now I need to import the same packages for the scanner class. Okay, so here I'm going to use integer number. Integer, as you know, which is going to read the integer values, and then I'm going to use the for loop. and say integer equal to 1 and sorry, x is less than or equal to number x plus. Hope you understood these follows what exactly will do. It is going to keep read till that number is not satisfied. Okay. So every time till the for loops is true, every time it is going to asking enter product name. Then I'm going to store the product name in the which one I have already p name, right? So I'm going to say p name add. Okay, I'm going to see dot next methods. Okay, next method is going to keep adding that product into the which one my array list, right? And the same I'm going to add the product price also. Enter prices. See, will you use add method? See dot next to float. Okay, because it is a float type of. Okay, next what I'm going to do is out of this for loops, I'm going to say collections. I'm going to use this collections class and I'm going to use the sort methods which can help me to sort the sorting the what the product name. So what is my collection object is a p name, right? So product name I want to sort the I want to display all the product in the sort format. So collections is a class which have a two static method. One is sort method and another one is the reverse method, remember. And then I'm going to use another collections classes dot sort, and then I'm going to sort which one the prices is called. So after sorting this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to print it. So I'm going to say product name, which one, and the same next line I'm going to say prices also should be in the sorted order. But I'm going to say product price sorting order after sorting. So price. All right. So this is what I have implemented my logic. How this product sorting has to be work on it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this method. Let's remove the space here. Okay. So I'm going to say um, my class. What is my class? Array sorting example. Let's use this class name. As you know, we can simply call the static method by using the class name. Let me just copy this. Say product sorting. Exactly. Yeah. Now let's start execute this code. What I'm going to do is going to print the product size also. is the index. This has to be given is always. Okay, now let's start execute. Yes, enter the number of products. How many products that you want to insert? I want to insert, let's say 3 products. Okay, it is asking, hey, enter the product details 1. So every product will have a name, prices. So I'm going to say first product is a laptop, and the prices for the product is, let's say, $760. Next is product details 2. So I will say headphone. Spelling mistake, that's okay, fine. And the prices is, let's say, $130. Third product details is AC, and it's called, let's say, $800. Now we can see all the product name is going to display in the sorting order, and the price is also going to display in the sorting order. Name has ordered, and the price is also sorted. Both has written in the sorting order. So far we talk about how to add, how to remove, how to replace, how to searching, how to sorting, and we discuss about the generics. So basically how you can create a types of object. And here also I use the same generic here, like to a specific type of object I created for product name. It's specific for string, and it's specific for prices. Any questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
So that means the generic data types is the same as like a primitive data types.
Yes, we can use this for anything. Either you can use for object type of, like as we discussed before. To look in this program, here I've created for object type of product.
Yeah.
And here I just use the same for the string type of flow type of. So this is not a primitive data, this is a class, a wrapper classes that I'm using to make this analyst as a type of a float object.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Excuse me. So concerning the generic, it means using a specific type of data. In other words, that's what it means.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's go for, let's say before. Okay. Now let's go for to understanding. Here we have just we just did the sorting for the primitive types of, which is called prices or name or something. But think about if I have a collection of object, like as you discussed before, right? And every every product object have a certain properties such as product ID, name, and price, or stock, or anything else, right? And how I can do the sorting in this scenario, right? We did the sorting for the primitive types, but whenever I have a collection of object, here I have a collection of object, right, in the array list, and every object will have a certain properties, right? The same collection of properties, right? So how can I do the sorting? Let's say if someone is going to asking, okay, I have a list of employee object in the array list, and I want to display all the I just want to display all the employee in the form of employee salary sorting. Okay, sorting of employee salaries. So you can do that. And in this scenario, I just want to display all the product in the form of product prices in the form of sorting order, in the form of a product pricing sorting order. So how we can do this, right? So for that, what you need to do is you are going to use two different interfaces to sorting the object. You are going to use two different interfaces. And what are those? Those are, let me show you here in details. So we have a two different types of interface called comparable, comparator, comparable and comparator. These two interface we are going to use. Comparable interface is used to do the single sorting sequence, means only one of the properties of object we can able to do sorting. And comparator interface is used to do the multiple sorting of sequence, means that means more than one properties of object we can do sorting. Okay, comparable is used to do the single sorting sequence. Comparator is used for the multiple sorting sequence, means more than one properties of object. That means we can do the sorting of product ID and as well as product prices, or product name and as well as product prices, anything as per your requirement. But comparable interfaces is used to do only the single sorting sequence. Why I'm going to discuss in details, because this is very important for the interview perspective, right? Next, comparable interface is belongs to java.lang packages, and comparator is used for the java.util packages. Okay, when you implement the comparable interface, you need to override compare to method, and when you implement comparator, then you need to override compare method. Okay, so without delay, let's try to see how we can use first comparable. Let me go to my product class. Not this one. This one. Yeah, this is a product class that I have created today. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to implement the comparable interface. So I will say the product class. I'm going to implement comparable. Comparable. And I'm going to use the type of the product classes. Obviously, I will get error, no doubt, because whenever we are implementing some interface, definitely there are some method, some abstract method which you need to override it, right? So we need to add unimplemented methods. That is called compare to methods. Okay, so this compare to method have a product as a reference. Like if you remember when you're talking about the copy constructor, right, which is used to copy the data any one of the object, right? So here also this compare to method have a product as a reference, product P as a reference, means we can use this reference inside the method for the comparison between the instance variables, and the same variables we can do comparison by using the product reference. I will show you the logic here, how it works. Say if let's try to sorting the price. Say price greater than p dot price. Then I will say 10 1. Else if, and always compare to method have a return type integer, and which returns 0, 1 or -1. Okay, else if price is lesser than of p dot price, then return -1. Return -1. I hope you understood. So based on that, the prices, it is going to be up and down. Okay, and both are representing the same product price. There is no difference. It doesn't return anything, so it returns 0. what I have to do now, I just implemented the logic the way how I want to compare, how I do the sorting of my specific properties. I can go to my product list class and simply I can use, let's put this in a command line. I can use here this sort method. Say same method as we discussed before it, collection dot sort equal to which one, my object. Okay, and I can use any one of the way to traverse the element. Let's go for the for each loops. Anything you can use. So let's run this code. So what I should get here? I should get all the product in the form of a price sorting order. Yes, I got it. First, product ID 2, which is less price 150, and then product ID 3, which is the next 750, and then 850, and then the 950. Okay, because it's not going to written in the way how it has to do in the as you have injected, because if I'm not going to implement that comparable and if I'm not going to if I'm not going to implement the comparable interface and not provide the implementation of the compare to method, then my ArrayList object will be written as usual as we got before, right? So when I'm going to say sorting of object, then it is going to look that which properties need to be sorting in the product object, and based on that this for each loops is going to written in that same order here. Now if you'll say no, I want to do sorting of this product object, the name and as well as the prices, both I want to do sorting, then you have to implement comparator, not comparable. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to the same product classes, and then I will say okay fine, I'm going to let's do something. I'm going to create a new class. I don't want to reuse the same thing. Let's get a new class. Say talk about employee class here. And I can use ID string name. Okay, and now I'm going to use the constructor here. Yeah, and then I'm going to use same toString method. Okay. Okay. Next, I'm going to create a class where I can implement the comparator interface. So again, right click new class. Say employee name sorting. And this employee name sorting class implements comparator. Sorry. This I will make it is for employee employee class. Yeah. Now let's try to import the util package as I said, right? Because comparators belongs to util packages. Okay, now it's going to asking me to override such method, add on implemented methods. Yes. Okay, so there are two arguments, means I'm going to comparison between two objects. I'm going to say this is the E1 object and E1 has to be between E2. And then I will write a return okay, employee name, employee name. Okay, so return employee name. E2. Yeah, it is going to return this compare method. Previous we have override compare to method when you have implements comparable, but when I'm going to implement comparator, then I'm going to use compare method, and this compare method is going to comparison between two objects of its property that is called employee name. Okay, now let me create another class which can implements again the same comparator. So the class name will be employee salary sorting. So I will say employee salary sorting. Clear? Now let's try to follow the same structure here. Import these packages and override the compare method. Okay, now let's try to run the same logic as we discussed before. Uh, E1 dot employee salary is greater than E2 dot salary. This only salary, not employee salary. That's the reason I'm getting error here. So say salary. And one. C4 E1 dot salary. Salary is less than EMP E2 dot is minus 1. Same logic as you discussed before. And again, return 0. Now this is the time I have to write my main class. So my logic has written, and let's go for to create a main class. I will say employee application main method. Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to say array list employee obj list. Now same I need to add the list of employee object in my array list. Let's make it full screen. Okay, so we'll say obj dot new employee. Every employee will have an ID. The employee will have a name. The employee will have a salary. Let's I'm taking for employee. This is 102. This is $1,000. This is 104. $8,000. 104. Say something called say let's $5,000. I have a list of employee object. Fine now. So what I will do now, I will say employee name sorting. I have to call the sorting method and here I need to pass the parameters when I will call the sort method. Employee name sorting. Employee one. Okay. And say another one, employee salary sorting, right? So employee sorting into salary sorting. Now I will say selection dot sorting of list. So list here is a list object. Next will be my one. Two parameter I need to pass here when I will do implement the comparator. And next one is selections dot sorting also list object. Next one is my object. Perfect. Next, what I have to do, I can use any one of the for each loops. I will say for employee o scope resolution operator, say obj, that is my array list object, which I have the list of employee object, and I'm going to say that inside. Yeah. Okay, so from here I'm getting from my employee name, and this is from my employee salary starting. So let's see how it works. So I will say um, O. Okay, and here also I'm going to say uh, that's the employee reference. It's time to run the code. Okay, let's go ahead and run. Something is coming. Data current. There's an exception. Util concurrent modification exceptions. Next time source. Apply object reference.
Sir, I think in employee salary sorting, instead of putting compare to method, I think it's written like a compare. So maybe that's why or not.
No, no, no. These employee one. So employee one should get this. This is my list object employee one, and after sorting, it is going to get this object one. Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's coming as usual. Price summary also getting the same error. Mhm. Something is going wrong. Okay. No problem. I will fix it later. So as of now, you can just do the practice, the comparable part, and let me share the code. Where it is employee product list. Yeah. This is the main class. Next, what we discuss, array sorting. Yes. Okay, and once I will resolve this, then I will send you this code, the comparability comparator. So do this program practice, and then from here we'll continue tomorrow. Are you going through the materials? So if not, then just look into the set and the map that I'm going to talk about tomorrow session's set and map. So we'll finish the collection part by end of this week, and next week and move forward for the new topics called exception handlings. Clear?
Yes, thank you.
Can you hear me, guys? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I said we'll finish the collection framework this week, tomorrow and after tomorrow, whatever the rest of the part, and then same we'll do a question answer discussion on Monday, and then we'll move to the new topics, that is exception handling topics. And once we'll finish the exception, then we'll move to the advanced Java part here. All right, so bye, take care, see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.